You think you know what destruction looks like. Molten rock erupting from the Earth's crust. Pyroclastic flows incinerating forests in seconds. Ash clouds blocking out the sun. Volcanoes are Earth's apocalypse machines, agents of total obliteration. But what if you've been looking at them wrong? What if, beneath the fire and ash, inside the toxic gases and scalding water, life is not just surviving, but flourishing? We start at the base. A landscape of fresh basalt, deposited by a lava flow just decades ago. It is gray, sharp, and seemingly dead. The ground temperature here can reach 60 degrees Celsius under the midday sun. There is no soil. No water. No shade. It should be sterile. But look closer. In the crevices, a pale green dust is clinging to the stone. This is Stereocolon volcani. Lichen. It doesn't look like much, but this organism is performing a quiet miracle. It is eating the rock. Lichen is a partnership, a fungus providing shelter and an alga providing food. Together, they secrete acids that dissolve the volcanic stone, molecule by molecule, releasing the nutrients locked inside. They are alchemy in slow motion, turning stone into soil. Once the lichen breaks the ground, the moss arrives. Then the hardy grasses. Then the ferns. This is ecological succession. The volcano destroyed the world, but it also laid the foundation for a new one. As we climb higher, the temperature rises. Not from the sun, but from below. We are entering the fumarole zone. Here, the earth is exhaling. Toxic cocktails of sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide blast from vents at 90 degrees Celsius. The air smells like rotten eggs and burning matches. Any normal plant would wither here instantly. But look at the ground. It's covered in thick, vibrant mats of orange, green, and white. These aren't plants. They are bacterial cities. These organisms are chemotrophs. They don't care about the sun. They feed on the toxic gas itself, converting sulfur into energy. They organize themselves into precise rings around the heat source. The hottest center belongs to the Hydrothermophiles, bacteria that freeze to death if the temperature drops below 70 degrees. The outer rings are cooler, inhabited by different species. It is a microscopic ecosystem sorted by heat tolerance, thriving in an environment that would kill us in minutes. The wind stops. The sound changes to a hollow, dripping echo. Beneath the surface, there is another world entirely. When lava flows, the surface cools while the river of fire underneath keeps moving. When the eruption stops, it leaves behind hollow veins. Lava tubes. Some are small, others are large enough to fit a cathedral. Down here, there is no sun. No wind. Just eternal darkness and silence. Yet, life found a way in. Tree roots from the surface punch through the ceiling, dangling like chandeliers, offering moisture. And feeding on those roots are creatures that have never seen the sun. Blind cave crickets. Albino spiders. Millipedes that navigate by touch alone. These are troglobites. Some of these species have been isolated here for hundreds of thousands of years, evolving in the dark, losing their eyes because sight is useless in a world of shadow. They are an alien ecosystem, living just meters beneath our feet. We reach the summit. The crater. Here sits a lake that looks tropical and inviting, a stunning turquoise jewel. But do not be fooled. This water is more acidic than battery acid. It is a soup of sulfuric acid and heavy metals. To a human, a swim here would mean chemical burns and death. But under a microscope, this toxic water is teeming with life. Acidophiles. Bacteria that have evolved armor-plated cell walls to keep the acid out. They spend massive amounts of energy just pumping protons out of their bodies to stay alive. In places like the Danakil Depression in Ethiopia, volcanic ponds are hot, salty, and acidic, conditions almost identical to what we might find on Mars or ancient Earth. And yet, life is there. But the volcano has one final paradox. Above the fire, there is ice. At high altitudes, the summit is frozen. Glaciers cling to the rim of the volcano. It is an environment of brutal contradictions, volcanic heat below, Arctic freeze above. And even here, in the snow, there is life. Watermelon snow. It looks like spilled juice, but it is actually a bloom of cryophylic algae. They produce a red pigment to act as sunscreen against the intense UV radiation at this altitude. By turning red, they darken the snow, absorbing more heat from the sun, melting the ice around them to create their own water source. They are engineering their environment to survive. We usually view volcanoes as disasters. But from a geological perspective, they are creators. Volcanic soil is some of the most fertile on Earth. It is packed with minerals, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, brought up from the deep mantle. This is why millions of people live in the shadow of Mount Etna, Vesuvius, and Fuji. The danger is high, but the reward is a harvest unlike anywhere else. Volcanoes are the engine of Earth's rebirth. They destroy the old to build the new. They cycle nutrients from the dead core to the living surface. Without them, our planet's chemistry would stagnate. As we stand under the stars, looking at the glow of the crater, we are left with a profound realization. We spend billions of dollars searching for life on other planets. We look for the perfect Goldilocks zone, not too hot, not too cold. But the life we found here. In the acid lakes, the frozen peaks, and the toxic vents. It doesn't care about Goldilocks. It doesn't need perfect. If life can flourish here, inside the throat of a volcano, then why not in the methane lakes of Titan? Or the subsurface oceans of Europa? Or the lava tubes of Mars? The volcano teaches us that life is not fragile. It is relentless. It does not wait for permission to exist. It simply finds a way. And if it can happen here, amidst the fire and the ash, it can happen anywhere.